If you're anything like me, you've probably thought, if I had to go back and do it all over again, what would I change? What would I keep the same? In today's episode, I'm going to talk specifically about mortgage loan origination, and if I had to go back and do it all over again, what would I change and what would I do the same? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children 18 plus. You are tuned in to the Loan Officer Podcast with me, Dustin Owen, and my main man,
JC.
John Coleman.
Yo, what's poppin'?
You and I just got back from a phenomenal trip to Chicago.
Don't tell people that. It smells like piss and old milk in that city.
Okay, John Coleman thoroughly did not enjoy being on the train.
Food is food is like, oh my God, food's amazing, trash. Deep dish pizza tastes like bowling alley pizza.
Okay,
Soggy bowling alley pizza.
Okay, first and foremost, can we talk about you on the train?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Don't take John Coleman on public transportation.
If I don't have to.
No, you like to hide behind the fact that you're bougie. I think you're a germaphobe.
Being bougie is part of being a germaphobe. Yes, people are disgusting. Dustin.
Okay. Well, anyhow, we took the train from O'Hare into downtown.
That was an F.
We had a great trip, John.
It was a great trip. Yeah.
Yes.
The trip was great. The city's garbage.
I won't say the city is garbage.
I will.
Okay, you can say it. I wouldn't say that. I thoroughly enjoyed going to Pequod's for
what
pizza.
What about the homeless man
Pequod's.
that stopped me in the middle of the intersection at the red light and proceeded to say, "Hey, motherfucker, give me change"? Like, you want to talk about that?
No,
nobody wants to bring that up, huh?
No, we're not going to talk about that. We're not going to talk about some of the smells that maybe made the inside of your nose curdle a little bit.
Yeah.
No, we had a great trip because check this out. Like John and I went and we created a bunch of content that is going to be for a sister YouTube channel that we're launching in the foreseeable future. But more specifically, like we got to hang out with some of our colleagues within the lower family, Dave Hochberg and
Dave.
Jordan
Shout
and
out
Steve and Cindy.
Shout out Cindy.
Yes, and we made content with them.
I know.
We made content with their realtor partners.
Cohorts.
We made content inside of WGN
That
Studios.
was cool. That was like a dream for you come true, huh?
That was really cool.
Was
Yeah, that's
cool,
an iconic radio station, and we got to do content in there. So, yeah, I was excited about it just to come home for the NBA playoffs to start.
Yeah.
Garbage.
Yeah.
You talk about Chicago being garbage. I'm going to talk about NBA playoffs being garbage.
Yeah, the play-ins were good, but then that's when the effort stopped.
The play-ins, you're letting teams that don't even win half their games make the playoffs. And then you know what I found out yesterday?
What's that?
This beginning round is still 7 games.
Yeah, I know. It's going to take forever.
At least baseball's got it figured out. First it's the best of 3, then the best of 5. Now it's the best of 7. Basketball is best of 7 the whole time.
Yeah,
I'm out. Call me game 4 of the finals.
Do they have a pitch count still in baseball? Do they implement that?
Yes, like,
It's still there,
well, not
21 seconds, like
yes,
a shot clock. That's still
yes.
there? I tried to watch a game the other day, and I was like, "This is still too slow."
I don't mind that.
By a game, like I watched half an inning, and by half an inning, I watched 3 pitches.
Baseball is an experience best.
Stop.
It's
live.
Yeah, it's best live, but even like during the day, you put it on, you cook, you eat, you hang out.
They have 300 games a year, and they're all during the middle of the week. Who has time to like skip school, don't go to work, and take my son to a doubleheader for 19 hours of baseball straight? How does that work?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we didn't do that until the summertime. We only got to do it once a year as a family, usually July 4th weekend, driving Orlando to Atlanta, and we sat in the nosebleeds. Whatever the $3 tickets were that came with a hot dog and a beer or a hot dog and a soda, that's what we bought back in the late 80s, early 90s when I was growing up. But nonetheless, let's jump into today.
Please do.
Yeah, so I was thinking, actually it was this morning. I was in the pool getting my workout in, and I recently had somebody ask me, like, hey, Dio, if you were to start over, what's something you would make sure you did? What was something you would make sure you did different? And I was like, oh my God, this can go on forever.
Yeah.
And I thought, no, give me 5.
Okay, well, before you do that, we should probably plug today's sponsor so we don't have to go back and redo it. So
today's episode of the Loan Officer Podcast is brought to you by our friends over at Capital W Collective, the first and only organization uniquely dedicated to educating, elevating, and empowering the leaders of today and tomorrow within mortgage capital markets. Capital W is dedicated to the 3 E's: educate, elevate, and empower. While increasing female representation within the mortgage capital markets is a Capital W goal, the organization wants everyone to participate. Capital W has already received amazing support from women and men, aka women and their allies. Capital W is a 503c that relies on generous donations and contributions of individual and corporate donors. Make sure you check out Capital W's LinkedIn page. It's Capital W, which is one word, collective. And their website is capitalwcollective.org. Capital W is also actively seeking marketing and education committee members. So get involved today. All right. Well, shout out to our sponsors. We appreciate that. If you're ever interested in sponsoring our show, go to our website, tloponline.com. And under the media inquiries tab, you can fill out an inquiry and a member of our team will reach out to you to see what it's like to sponsor the Loan Officer Podcast or even become one of our advertisers.
LFG.
Let's go. So first thing I thought about, like just getting started. And it's hard when you think about, okay, just getting started because there's seasons of life. So when I was just getting started, I was still in my 20s, right? So in my 20s, yeah, things like I just want to make six figures was how I thought.
I'm 40. I'm in my 40s and I'm still trying to get there. The hell are you talking about?
Don't get me wrong. Like someone makes $100,000 plus a year and you are in the top probably 10% of income earners in the country. Now in the world, you're probably top 1%, but in the country, you're at least top 10%. And yes, that was 20 years ago. So, you know, making quote unquote six figures, which by the way, if you ever say, I want to make six figures, that means about 108,000, right? That's because people who make 180 or 250 or 300, they don't say six figures. People who make 102 to 109,
that's six figures.
Like that's six figures. Yeah, it's like you finally made it.
Yeah.
But you know, I thought that way. But then there's a time that fast forward 7 years from that time, I was like, if I could just make $15,000 a month. Right? That's great money. To me, $15,000 a month back in 2010 was like, well, Uncle Sam's going to take 5 and I'm going to spend
the rest
75 a month and then I can keep the rest and save it. I was like, yeah, this is good. Right? I'm saving $2,500 a month. I'm spending $7,500 a month. And then, you know, between like payroll taxes, health benefits, et cetera, I have $5,000 a month going out the door. But early on in my career, what I didn't do is I didn't think big enough. Believe it or not, of all people to say that, if there's something that I could go back and do all over again, I would think bigger. Even you and I at TLOP, like TLOP, maybe I think big because I've straight up told people I want to be Joe Rogan and Dave Ramsey, right? Like I want to be JC and DO, but that's the type of audience I want to go for. That Clark Howard, Susie Orman, Dave Ramsey audience. And maybe one day we'll get there. More than likely we won't, but I'll put it out in the universe. But even with our coaching company, I was out to lunch with my buddy PJ. So shout out to PJ. And he literally looked at me and goes, bro, of all people, you and your coaching company, he's like, you got to think bigger. Now, maybe that's because I have a little bit of imposter syndrome and PJ's consuming our content. He's like, look, as a consumer of your content, I effing love it. It's badass. You got to think bigger. So even still today, I struggle with thinking bigger. But early on in my career, I wished I would have thought bigger than just making six figures, thought more than just 180 grand was a lot of money, which it is. I wish coming out of the gates, the goal was, how do I build a sustainable book of business where I earn $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 a year from the get-go?
It's hard to think that way, Dustin, when you're closing 0.5 loans a month, but I hear you.
Yeah. Yes and no. But no, I think there was like some self-limiting beliefs that I put on, and what I hadn't been exposed to enough people that were doing it. So my belief system was a little bit smaller. So the second thing that I wish I would have done better, and this is still a better, I did not do a good enough job of working my COI, my circle of influence. Coming out of the gates, if there was something that was asked of me and I fell short, it was in reaching out to the 100 people that I just invited to my wedding, which actually there's 200 people, but let's just say 100 of them were local. And I didn't do a good enough job of leveraging those relationships for introductions to referral sources. So like when we coach you over at TLOP Originator Coaching, especially when you're going through a course like Launch, one of the first things I'm going to do is I'm going to say, give me your top 100 friends and family, like those men and women that you're the closest with, that are the most successful, the most influential, and then I want you to call all 100, not to do a loan with you. I want you to call all 100 and ask them who do they know, realtor, builder, financial advisor, and then ask them to make a Triangle Trust introduction to you. So early on in my career, I wished I would have done this better. And if I were starting all over again, you better believe I'm going to work that circle of influence to make introductions to my avatar, which my avatar would be a long-term referral source such as a realtor, builder, financial advisor.
Fascinating.
Yeah, what would you do all over again, John?
I would pay attention in class and take more electives. I would take advantage of every single electives, from chess club to like rowing to anything they had, all the way starting in high school, all the way to college, and I would do everything extracurricular. Probably drink less too.
Okay. How about in your career?
Dustin, I can't even remember what I did in my career yesterday. You think I can go back that far? Yeah, I would have gave less shits earlier in my career. That's what I would have done.
There you go. All right. You know, someone just reached out to me, a T-Lopper, and he literally, I don't think he could remember your name again.
Of course they can't, because it's 2 fucking letters, JC. Why would you people be able to remember it?
But what he did say is you are his spirit animal.
Must not be a top producer.
Anyhow, so number 3.
Yeah.
Number 3, and this isn't even a shameless plug.
Oh, here we go. But it is. But it's not, though, because I could read your chicken scratch from here. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, get coached. Get coached. And get coached can be hire consultant. Get coached could be go work for an employer that offers coaching. Get coached could be go to a conference, right? Like shout out to Mastermind Summit.
Shout out Mastermind Summit.
Right? Or going to the state conventions like I'm getting ready to do in Texas for the Texas MBA. Shout out to our friends who are at Texas MBA. Getting ready to go to the Michigan Mortgage Lenders Association. That's May 1st. Like, you know, like attending events like this where they bring in speakers like me or people who do what I do for a living to give back to the industry that means so much to them. Like, I wished I would have done that better. Now, I went to work for a really good company. They had great training, right? That's how I was introduced to Zenix. We had decent mentors. I had a branch manager that was there for us. So they offered more structure and support than most, but I wasn't getting business coaching. I wasn't getting sales training. And even if I did, there was a lot of academic inbreeding. Like there was one way of doing things. So I wished I would have started expanding my professional network when it comes to coaching or influential people in the industry or attending conferences or conventions. I wished I would have done that earlier. I wasn't introduced to it formally and officially probably until like 4 or 5 years into my career. So I didn't hire my first coach until 5 years into my career. I didn't attend my first conference outside of what my company provided until my 5th year. The one thing that I did have done for me probably by year 3 is I did have my mentor, one of my favorite managers, Cindy Velez, who's been on the show before. She introduced me to the Mortgage Bankers Association. And by going to local MBA meetings, I was introduced to some thought leaders from time to time throughout the years.
There you go.
The 4th thing that I would do all over again, network with intentionality. I was a networking fiend. Like every day I made sure I had an appointment set. I was doing a pop by. I was swinging by an office. Like if there was a milk route, I probably had it. If there was an office in my territory, I was there at least twice a month, every single month. And I completed things like the 12-week challenge. At the 12-week challenge, when we coach it over at T-Lop's Originator Coaching, it's designed to be that springboard that helps someone expand their network. So so what I would do again that worked for me is I became a networking machine. What I would do different now that I have 20 years experience is there was a lot of time that I would attend a networking function, but I wouldn't walk out with a meeting. And what I've learned over time and what we coach still today, or what I'm going to present about when I'm in Texas, is it's one thing to go to the actual networking function. It's another thing to go there and walk away with the commitment for 2 people to meet you one-on-one. So that's what I would still do, but I could do even better now that I'm 20 years plus into it.
There you go.
What are your thoughts on networking? I'm curious. Tell the people, what is John Coleman like as a networker?
I don't like networking because I don't like people, Dustin.
I don't think they believe you.
Meet me in public and see my enthusiasm when you go to extend your hand to shake mine. See what happens. I'm serious, man. It's really getting bad. I don't have social anxiety, but I find something wrong with society every time I exit my house and see another human. So
That's not healthy.
it's the world I live in now. We know it's not healthy.
Is it your own world though?
It's
You
the
think
world.
it's like a bubble you
It's the
live in?
world I live in. You know, it's not healthy. Healthy people thumb fucking their phones 365 days a year, just endlessly scrolling. That's probably not healthy.
That's way not healthy.
Yeah. You know what I don't do? Scroll on the internet.
No, it makes perfect sense. So I do think it's funny though when we travel but where's JC?
He's in his room getting high.
Yeah. I'm like, I left him at home. Why'd you do that? I said, well, like times are tight. People don't want to pay for his business class seat.
Yeah, it's baseline business class.
and his hotel.
Yeah.
I said, but honestly, guys, like he gives all he has to the show.
This is it.
You're good.
I care.
You are good in public.
Oh, yeah.
For a short period of time. 45 minutes.
I can't do like the pantomiming, like, oh, tell me about you. What are your goals? What are your ambitions? Like I give a shit. Stop. The only reason why LOs are reaching out to their circle of influence, Dustin, on their birthdays is not because they give a shit about their birthday. It's trying to keep the lead warm.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, but like, so I traveled for 3 days straight with John. And like, even with me, like we get in an hour and 20-minute Uber ride to go from Chicago to Arlington Heights. Mm-hmm. Puts in his headphones, puts on his hoodie, and he just stares and listens to whatever music that he currently has on.
I was looking out the window trying to find something positive about Chicago.
I forced him on the Uber ride back to actually talk to me, but it was all business. It wasn't like...
Shout out, yeah, the Uber drivers need to get trained again in Chicago, by the way, FYI.
No, that one lady was terrible.
Jesus
the other three, not so bad.
Christ.
All right, let's go to number 5.
Okay, I can't wait for this one. What's this one, Dustin?
Build a team. Build a team. Now, I'm not saying come at the gates and you build a team.
Right.
Right, no, it's your job to get a lead. You mortgage brokers out there, you loan officers, you VPs of lending. Don't know how you're a VP of lending closing 12 loans a year, but hey, your company gave you that title. High five.
Yeah.
But build a team wasn't even on my radar coming out of the gates. Like I wasn't thinking like a business operator. Mm-hmm. Like I was thinking like the young, broke, hungry, lost, scared originator that I was, but I should have had somebody, elder, statesperson, mentor, coach, who was like, hey, look, it's okay to be lost and scared, but don't take your eye off the prize. The prize is you're not only going to generate a lead a day, you're going to start generating 2 to 3 leads a day because you're going to go out and network with intentionality, because you're going to be getting coaching, because you're going to work your circle of influence, and because you're going to think big. Part of thinking big is building out a team so that you can maximize your time and so that you can do the things that you're great at and that you love doing, and other people can do the things that they're great at and that they love doing. Just make sure that what they love to do isn't what you love to do, and what they're great at doing isn't what you're great at doing. And by the way, this is how people make $500,000 to $750,000 to $2 million a year in this industry. And by the way, you can too. Like I wish that was presented to me, so at least I knew what my North Star was and I knew what was possible. And it wasn't, but coming into it, I want to build a team. Now we get this question all the time. Dio, when should I build a team?
When, Dio? I'm closing 3 loans a month and I'm drowning.
Yeah, and I say get better. Be better, get better. Period. Like be better, get better. I would tell you a full-time originator is funding 5 units per month. If you're not funding 5 units per month, you're not using your time appropriately, or you're brand new. It takes 2 years to build your following, 2 years to build out your book of business, create that pipeline, fill the funnel. But after 2 years, it's 5 units a month, regardless of market conditions. If you understand it's your job to get a lead, if you understand that you're a salesperson first, that you're a master networker, like that's a full-time gig. If you're doing 3 loans a month, look, you're making a good living, but I can't imagine you're intentionally working 40 plus hours a week. And if you are, I need you to sit down and maybe go through one of our coaching programs where I can force you for 30 days to log your time, submit your time to your coach, so your coach can help you find where you're being inefficient. But it truly is that simple. Like it's not hard work, but it is consistent work, right? So you got to be consistent. You got to be working on the right things. But those are the 5 things that if I were to start over tomorrow, knowing what I know, that's where all my intentionality, that's where my focus would go.
Well said, Dustin.
Yeah. We have anything coming up, John, that we need to pimp out or promote that hasn't been done already?
I don't think so.
Yeah. How about this? T-Lop has just revamped all of our coaching.
Oh, shit.
So check this out. When you become a member of our coaching community, it is now officially the number one value in the industry.
Pew, pew, pew.
Like the number one value. So check this out. For less than $3,000 a year right now. Now prices will be going up, but less than $3,000 a year. We do 4 coaching calls a month on Tuesday. So the first through fourth Tuesday is a coaching call with one of our coaches who are all top producers. Now, on Thursday, we have calls as well. We have a call on the first Thursday where it's me doing and conducting and emceeing and moderating my community sales meeting. Mm-hmm. On the second Thursday of the month, I'm going to be teaching one of my signature master classes. On the third Thursday of the month, we actually coach all of our members, realtors. So it's a coaching call specifically for real estate agents, but it's a value add that all of our members can then post about on social, text, and email. They now have a done for them event that they can use to market themselves as, hey, look, I pay money to be professionally coached. In my coaching cohort, they also do a class monthly that's at no cost to you that you can be a part of. Mm. And then on the fourth Thursday, that's when we're bringing in the silent assassin. It's not that silent, but Jamie Miller is going to be coming in.
Shit.
And it's the art of conscious communication. It is what to say, why to say it, how to say, right? All neuro-linguistics. Jamie recently posted on Facebook where Alex Hormozy is now following him. That's a big deal.
Oh, shit.
If Hormozy's following you, it's a big deal. So that's Tuesdays and Thursdays. But Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we're stepping up our game. We have a coach on call. So if you're a member, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., if you have a question, you need some help, you can reach out and one of our coaches, including me, probably a couple times a month, I'll be available, where we are the coach on call. You can ask us your question and we have 10 minutes or less to give you an answer, get you pointed in the right direction.
Sign me up for that. I want to be a coach for 10 minutes a day.
Probably not. You'd have everyone quitting and moving into your commune. Right?
I don't have that in my compound.
Yet.
A high entry fee for that.
Yeah. So anyhow, we're really excited about that. If you want to look into it, you want to explore, heck, you just want to sign up because you know it's badass, go to our website, tloponline.com. If you like this episode and you like content like this, make sure you go to our YouTube channel, The Loan Officer Podcast, aka TLOP, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. There's more than just podcast episodes on that channel. Follow us on Instagram. Connect with me on LinkedIn. First name Dustin, last name Owen. And make sure you have signed up for our newsletter. That too can be found on our website, tloponline.com. He's John Coleman. I'm Dustin Owen. That's all the time we have for you today, but we do look forward to catching you on the next episode. Peace.